That's a very interesting story. The war zone. How did I get on the war zone? You know what? I really, it's not complicated how I got on the show. You would really have to ask Demetra, really, because Demetra would have more of it. But basically, whenever you see me on a show and Demetra, we're kind of, excuse me, I'm burping. We're kind of connected at the hip because of what we're doing on our social platforms and stuff. So where Demetra goes, I usually follow, or I just say, yeah, you could have that, because what a lot of people don't know is I discovered Demetra, okay? I don't care what anybody says. I invested in her. I own her contract. We have an Ike and Tina like relationship, okay? I'm talking about the early days type stuff, not a romantic relationship or anything like that. It's more like an Ike and Tina situation where basically she is damn good at what she does. And I saw that. And, we started together, we've known each other for a long time, and we just have a great rapport with each other. So it's not the fact that, I ended up on the show and like that, because I'm really not a personality. That's not me. I like being behind the scenes and pulling the strings and doing the technical work and doing the producing and putting up the money. I'm more of the producer type person, because she has the talent. But I'd rather be the producer and do the technical. I love doing the videographies, and all the editing. I love that stuff because it's a creative stuff. And the more you do it, the better you get. And if you look at some of our videos, from when we first started, they were so raw, and I love those videos because they were so raw and they were just so, you're working it out. Now, people are putting on whole-scale productions on their phone. Okay, that's how much technology has grown. So everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. And like I said, Demetra is a public relations person, and my thing is technical. I really like technical stuff, like I said. So basically, I get this call one day. Demetra she's still here in California, and we're talking. And she says, hey, there's this guy, he has this show, he wants me to come on the show. And I said, yeah, you go ahead and do what you got to do. You have my blessing. I release you to go do the show, but make sure you bring that money back. But you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, just go ahead and do what you got to do. I guess they have, talked and stuff like that. And if some of you guys see, Demetra is a contributor on the African Diaspora News Channel as well. But see, all of this to me was ordained, and it was ordained by her mother. And her mother had always said that she is going to go out and do great things, and she's been doing great things. And so basically, Demetra always will tag me along. It's like, well, hey, I can't do this. Let me run it by my partner. And if he says it's good, we're going to do it, whatever. And, she gave me the opportunity, and I said, well, okay, she's doing this show. She said, let's do the show, whatever. And I said, okay, well, if it's going to get the message out there, why not? You know what I mean? I personally don't do what I do to make money off of it. If money comes off of it, great, so be it. There are a lot of people out there that, $1 here, $5 there, and we appreciate everything you got, because it does take, time is money to me, and it does take time to put out these videos and to do that. But for me, I can only speak for myself, doing these videos and waking my people up, and everybody's got to understand this. I'm not on the everybody train. You know what I mean? I don't worry about everybody else. I worry about my people. I have to worry about my people first before I worry about anybody else, because nobody's worrying about black people but black people. I mean, I don't see Asians in the streets when a black man is murdered, or a black woman is murdered in her home, or a black man is choked out in the streets. I don't see very many Asians, supporting us. I don't see very many Hispanics supporting us, but you let, kids in cages and stuff, you see us out there supporting them, so, and you really can't condemn me for doing what is naturally your, human nature. Birds of a feather flock together. That's just how it is. I mean, I don't fault other races that don't support us. They don't have to. If you're out there, great. If you're not, you're not. So, Dimitri was like, hey, just come on the show. And I said, well, yeah, I don't really worry about the money aspect of it. It just never was a big thing to me, because when you're constantly out there chasing money, like some people do, you got to know yourself. I'm not a businessman. I'm not a businessman in any sense of the word. But if I was a businessman, the only business I would get involved in is a strip club. That's the only business I would get in. Why? Because I could make money off of women, employees, whatever you want to call it, that will bring in fools that will just drop their money, give them a salary. All I got to do is provide drinks or whatever a strip club does, because, and of course I've been to strip clubs. And I look at the business model and I'm just like, this is incredible how these men will come in here. And here in California, a lot of strip clubs are non-alcoholic. You got these exorbitant prices of these drinks. You've got to tip these girls and do all these things, and pay them. And these women are just stripping them of their money. It's just incredible. And then the house gets a cut of perfect business model. That's what I would get involved in. But I know I'm not a businessman. So I don't do it for the money. I do it for the knowledge of our people. People say, well, that's stripping is exploiting black, women and stuff like that. Depending on how you look at it, so, but anyway, basically I said, well, it can't hurt to go on the war zone. And next thing you know, we Zoom up or whatever you want to call it. We StreamYard up and, I meet Gary, and I had never seen, I've heard of the show, but I had never seen it and been on it. And I went on the show. And I can say this. If you've watched the show, The War Zone, you have 3 distinct personalities. And I think that's what makes the show work. You know what I mean? We have the attractive, beautiful woman on the show. You got the street urban guy on the show. Then you got the nerdy guy, that's kind of more technical and kind of like, this is how it is, And that's what I think makes the show, really work, and sometimes in shows you've got to change things to find the right combination. And I think, we all have the right combination in how we do the show. But there'll be times on that show where I just want to bust up laughing, because the 5-star is so passionate about, what he's saying. And I do like the fact that he is passionate about education and children's education. And of course, there's a false narrative out there about black men, just, we're just womanizers and we don't care about our children and we don't, we just don't give a shit. We ain't shit and stuff like that. And no, here's a guy that was a rapper that was rapping about, I'm very sure in the 90s, all kinds of craziness and stuff that was going on, the misogyny and stuff like that. But he's passionate about children. And it isn't just about black children. He's passionate about education for all of the children. It just so happens his area is predominantly black, whatever, but he is passionate about children. And I think that's a positive, because if you listen to what he's saying, he's right. he is right. The corruption is rampant. These people are just making money off of these children, putting these children in danger during a pandemic. I mean, I love that. And the funny thing is, even though he's working toward his law degree, you're never too old to go back to school. I love that too. But here he is among Demetra's very educated. She has her master's degree. You know, you got this educated person. I'm fairly educated and stuff. And he can hold his own with so-called educated people. No degree yet. Which goes back to what I was saying. People are the same everywhere. You don't need a degree to be intelligent. And that's what I love about the show. The passion, the knowledge we put out there, you know, and what we bring to the show. And, you know, yeah, you know, there are some, you know, some people, oh, I don't like this guy, whatever. But again, the different dynamics is what makes the show very, very successful. And I think it's going to be successful. So, you know, we've been doing the show, at least I've been on the show almost a year. And I'm thankful. I'm very thankful to be on the show because, you know, I could be doing 101 other things, and I'm very sure Gary could have found anybody to replace me because the dynamic is, you know, the show is Gary's show, the 5-star show. So, you know, we make sure, at least I know, you know, knowing that, I make sure that a lot of the production is based on what the 5-star is doing, because when he goes on the road, we make sure, you know, everything is kind of geared toward that show. Because I have my own show, Demetra has her own show. We all got different things and we come together like a collective group. And that's what I think makes it very dynamic.